Social Security is introducing some new rules that unfortunately are going to inconvenience millions of Americans. So let's jump in and see what's going on. Before I do that, I want to thank this video sponsor. It's Chapter. They're an independent Medicare advisor that advocates for you, not the insurance companies. More on Chapter later. Okay, let's start off with the Social Security office. Social Security Matters, and this is from the Social Security website, ssa.gov. And the title of the article is Social Security Strengthens Identity Proofing Requirements and Expedites Direct Deposit Changes to 1 day. We're going to focus on the first part of that, the identity proofing, because this is going to inconvenience, unfortunately, millions of Americans, and it can be a challenge, particularly as we're getting older. Okay, from the Social Security website, the Social Security Administration is taking proactive steps to enhance the security of its services by implementing stronger identity verification processes. The updated measures will further safeguard Social Security records and benefit against fraudulent activity. Over the next 2 weeks, SSA will carefully transition to stronger identity proofing procedures for both benefit claims and direct deposit claims. Okay, everything sounds good up till now. Let's keep going. Individuals seeking these services who cannot use personal My Social Security accounts, which require online identity proofing, will then need to visit a local Social Security office to prove their identity and purpose. And this is part of the challenge. Is it can take a long time to get an appointment at the Social Security office. And then on top of that, for some people, it's very difficult to get to the Social Security office in person. Let's keep going on the Social Security website. They go on to say, in quotes here, Americans deserve to have their Social Security records protected with the utmost integrity and vigilance, said Lee Dudek, who's the acting commissioner of Social Security. For far too long, the agency has used antiquated measures for proving identity, and Social Security can better protect Americans while expediting service. Again, I agree with that goal. And SSA will continue to permit individuals who do not or cannot use the agency's online My Social Security service to start their claim for benefits on the phone. They can start the claim. However, this article goes on to say, the claim cannot be completed until the individual's identity is verified in person. The agency therefore recommends calling to request an in-person appointment to begin and complete the claim in one interaction. So prior to these changes, as a financial advisor for over 20 years, I can tell you I've had clients tell me they can wait hours on hold for a phone consultation with Social Security. And so that can be an issue. It can also take a long time to get an appointment. And again, it can be inconvenient. Let's keep going. And then I've got an article from the New York Times I want to share with you. SSA recently required nearly all agency employees, including frontline workers in all offices throughout the country, to work in office 5 days a week. This change ensures maximum staffing is available to support the stronger in-person identity proofing requirement. So I'm glad that SSA is recognizing that they have to make appointments more readily available, in-person appointments, if they're going to require in-person identification. Now, you might be surprised at people that are not allowed to have an online Social Security account. Stick with me. Before we move on to that article, I want to thank this video sponsor. It's Chapter. Chapter is a Medicare advisor that helps people make good decisions on their Medicare options, both when they're first enrolling and then each year when open enrollment comes along. And the reason I agreed to partner with Chapter is they have done everything that they can to become an advocate for you versus the insurance companies. They've tried to make it for their team where they're indifferent as possible among the various options that you have, which is why I'm glad to partner with Chapter. Working with a good advisor is really important, and Chapter is no cost to the users, and they've done a lot of work to make sure they have access to the best data and they can help you make the best choice. Thank you, Chapter. Find out more about Chapter call the phone number on the screen here or use my link here or the link in the description. Thank you, Chapter, for sponsoring this week's show. So this is an article from the New York Times. Social Security Administration will no longer allow changes made by phone. And the first quote here in the article is, "This change will substantially delay their access to earned benefits," says Kathleen Romig, who's the director of Social Security and Disability Policy at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. All families with children who qualify for benefits will have to visit SSA in person because children cannot have My Social Security account, the online account, so kids cannot. So parents of kids that get Social Security through one form or another, the parents are going to have to go, and probably the kids are going to have to go, I don't know about that, to a physical office. And speaking of physical offices, the New York Times goes on to say the agency has announced plans to cut up to 12% of its workforce at a time when staffing is already at a 50-year low. And of its 1,200 field offices that directly serve the public, more than 40 are to be closed, according to Social Security Works, an advocacy group. Now, 40 offices out of 1,200 may not sound like that much, but if it's the office in your town and you now need to go 2-3 hours away or more, that can be a really big inconvenience. One last article, and then I'm going to share what I think this means for all of us. This one's by the USA Today, the Social Security Agency to require in-person or online confirmation. I want to share this with you because the USA Today article shares a quote by Elon Musk. This is Elon Musk on Larry Kudlow's show on Fox Business News, and this is a quote. "What we're adding here is caring incompetence," he said, Musk, in the interview. "There's a massive amount of fraud of basically people submitting Social Security numbers for Social Security benefits, unemployment, small business administration loans, and medical. Those are fake Social Security numbers, or they were stolen somebody else's Social Security number. We're trying to put a stop to all of that." I want to put a stop to all of that. You know, there was a study that was done that says that Social Security, there was about 1% fraud overall in the Social Security Administration, but people abusing Social Security, I should say. And 1% may not sound like much, but over the period of the study, which I think was 5 years, it amounted to somewhere between $70 and $75 billion of fraud, just that 1%. And so because the program's so big, but the program's so important, over half of all retired Americans report that Social Security accounts for half of their living expenses or more. So we're in a difficult situation, right? I mean, the world has transformed now to an online world, but our seniors are the ones that may be behind on technology, or they may be suffering from dementia or other conditions that make it hard for them to recall the information that's needed. And so this is, I understand the spirit of where we're going with this. The world has transitioned clearly to online. But when it comes to Social Security, we're dealing with some of the oldest people in the United States. It can be difficult for them to navigate the online world. So the phone option was an option that older people were comfortable with. Ironically, young people, they're like, "Why would you talk on the phone? You know, I just want to text." My kids are like, yeah, they call me Papa. "Papa, just text me. Don't call me." But older people are very comfortable on the phone. And even on the phone, it can be difficult as you start losing your hearing. My mother is 90 years old. My 92-year-old aunt recently passed away, and my mom had to verify some things about my aunt. I'm not sure why, to Social Security office. And it was really hard for her, one, because of the hearing aid issue, two, because it involved memory of things about her sister that I was surprised that she still remembered. So this is I don't blame people for being concerned about this. It is a big deal, and making good decisions is a really important part and something that we all need to worry about.